Today I have swatches from indie makeup brand fyrinnae. They're doing a Black Friday sale this year, so I'm hoping to get this out just in time. They do a lot of really cool color shifting eyeshadows, and all of the ones I have today are loose, shimmery eyeshadows. Some of them are available in pressed pan form, so I'm going to show you some eyeshadows from their regular shadow line, but also their Exquisites and Arcane Magic line, which are where you're going to see the really cool multichrome ones. Kitty. They do mention that in the pot the eyeshadows will kind of ball up, and that's due to the ingredients. They say like synthetic oils and things like that, so it's normal for them to be balled up, but you can easily crush them to apply them. I don't even need to fully crush them, I just apply pressure on them and it kind of breaks them up, but when you put them on the lid they smooth out. I'm also going to show you their primer called Pixie Epoxy, which is a really good pairing for the eyeshadows with a big color shift, just because of the nature of the formula. A lot of the colors don't fully show up without that primer. For the first round of the regular eyeshadows, I'm going to show more of how I'm swatching all of the shadows and how I'm applying the Pixie Epoxy. The mini size for their regular eyeshadow line is about $3. I'll show you how the Pixie Epoxy makes them look different. Just gonna spread it a little bit. Okay, so you can see they look pretty similar with or without the Pixie Epoxy, and I think it may be better when we get into more of the duochrome shades, because right now these look pretty similar, and these are both Digital Fairy. Now I'm adding in Zanzibar here. They look pretty similar. I can see a slight difference. These look more cool blue. This one looks a little bit more green, but they look pretty similar. I can't even tell the difference on camera, really. Okay, I have Digital Fairy here, Zanzibar here, and then some Pixie Epoxy. Yeah, it's tacky, so I'm going to swipe it over now, see if you can see any different shifts with it on. But yeah, so you've got 2 Zanzibar and 2 Digital Fairy now. Okay, this is Rapunzel Had Extensions. I have Pixie Epoxy on right there. Oops, got a little in the middle. I feel like with the Pixie Epoxy, sometimes it lets you capture a little bit more of the duochrome. Doesn't appear to make a huge difference right now. In real life, it looks kind of like a coral base with a gold shimmer on top. Like you can kind of, yeah, you can see the corally base there. It's hard to catch, but yeah, I would say coral with a little gold shimmer. So here we have Herbivore, these two are Debonair, and these two are Celestial Beauty. So Pixie Epoxy is again on the left of each one. You also get to see a more dramatic duochrome effect with the Pixie Epoxy. So you can see with Herbivore here. In real life, this one looks a lot more like of a dull, I mean, it's still shimmery, but this one you can see a lot more of the duochrome effect. And this is the most matte finish, I would call it satin. The rest I have are really shimmery, and then this one has more bigger glitter. This one really benefits from the use of the Pixie Epoxy to get that dark base, otherwise it just kind of blows out and you mostly just get the glitter. Now I'm gonna go into their Arcane Magic line, where you'll see more of a dramatic shift and more interesting colors? Oh, that's subjective. The mini size for the Arcane Magic eyeshadows is $3. So right now I'm wearing a shade called Lady Glamis, but when I put this on I didn't realize this is a shade that they don't have anymore. I don't see it on the website, so I'm sorry. So in the first round from left to right I have that Lady Glamis shade. Next is Mischief, Illusionary, and Embers. Sorry about these two, these are in fact the same one. You can see these two on the end that are the most glittery really benefited the most from the Pixie Epoxy. Okay, so I just double checked. Lady Glamis and Mischief, which were the first two I show on this arm, are both not on the website, so sorry. After that we've got Nefertari, the Alchemist, Conjuror, and Aphrodite's Evening Gown. Again, there are some more than others that really benefit from the Pixie Epoxy, but if you're into the multi-duochrome thing, you definitely want the Pixie Epoxy. This one has a greenish gold, a little bluish, deep purple, red and blue, and then purple and blue. Next we have all 6 of the Exquisites eyeshadows that I have. They basically say that the Exquisites are just kind of a more intense version of the Arcane Magic, basically just more intense color shift really is what the website says. For the mini size, these are about $4.50. So left to right on these: Exquisite swatches, Stained Glass, Osiris and Orion, Opalescent Mythology, Dark Bidding, Beyond This World, and Mythical Dalliance. So for the Exquisites, coincidentally, the first two are also not on the website. So that's Stained Glass and Osiris and Orion. Sorry. Again, I got these a few years ago. This was a swatch. There. And then obviously Pixie epoxy here. The more glittery they are, the less they show up without the Pixie epoxy. This one's kind of a yellow gold. This one's kind of a more orange gold with pink reflect. This one's kind of a red with a blue reflect. This one is kind of like a greenish bronzy base with like an orange reflect. This one you can kind of see it shifts to a darker color with the purple. And then this one's really cool. This one's iridescent. It's really hard to show everything. Again, like you can see, they're not much without the Pixie epoxy on there. They kind of just fall away. All of the eyeshadows I have are minis, so about 0.3 to 0.5 grams, or they say a quarter of a teaspoon is the approximate amount, but that's definitely enough for me, especially if you just want to try it out. It's plenty. Thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed looking at these swatches because I think they're very cool. And like I said, fyrinnae is having a Black Friday sale. I'll put their website below, but you could just Google it. I don't know exactly what the sale is gonna be. They just said they're gonna have a sale on some stuff. Maybe that would be on some eyeshadows too. I'm not really used to applying loose eyeshadows, and I also don't wear a lot of glittery eyeshadows, so I'm not totally the best at avoiding fallouts. So I do tend to get some glitter on my face, but I don't really care about that. You might be able to do a better job than I can at applying them. That's just the one thing that I would note. I also do crease with these when I just use the Pixie epoxy. I haven't tried with a regular eye primer, but that's just one more thing to be aware of. I have the Urban Decay primer potion, so I'll show you how the eyeshadows look on that versus the Pixie epoxy. I'm gonna quickly show you Dark Bidding here. This is one of the Exquisite shades, so one of the ones that without primer didn't really show up as anything except some glitter specks, and it also has a really strong color shift, so I want to see how this one looks with regular primer versus the Pixie epoxy. Well, first I'll just show you this again. Yeah, great. Next, let's do the Pixie epoxy before it gets too dried down. Well, I picked my hand up, I was like, ooh, there's that blue, because I didn't see it at first. I was looking at this and I was like, did I write down the order of the swatches on my arm correctly? But then when I flashed it up to the camera, I see that blue, which is amazing. On the primer potion, okay. Okay, that works. I would say the primer potion works, but you can see an increasingly good effect, so that just looks so lame. This is with the primer potion, so not that great, but you could see a little bit of color shift still. And then the Pixie epoxy. To get the most out of these shadows, you probably really need the Pixie epoxy because a regular primer, or at least the primer potion, is not going to cut it. Also, I've been looking at the viewfinder, I'm sorry. The Pixie epoxy retails for $8.50 right now. And it is, let's just check the size. They say on the website this holds approximately 9 milliliters of product. So if you're still watching, let me know how you found this video, if you were looking for these swatches or if they just caught your eye. Just curious. Drop a like or subscribe, and I will be back with another video soon. So see you then. So I feel like I do tend to get easily crush them. Went to their Arcane Magic line. Well, where? This is Eden. Maybe it's not good that this is a colored one, but I don't think I have anything else. Wow, I got this a few years ago and it's only now expiring this month.